Adding an aftermarket chin spoiler is an easy and relatively inexpensive way to completely change up the look of your ride. And now, thanks to SpeedForm's Mach 1 style chin spoiler option, it's even more affordable than you might think. The SpeedForm chin spoiler that we have here will deliver that new edge Mach 1 styling for all 99 to 04 V6, GT, Mach 1, and Bullet owners, along with the 99 to 01 Cobras as well for around that $50 price point. Installation will involve the smallest amount of drilling here, but even with that in mind, the site is still going to stick to a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and I'd say at least 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more of your time to get everything in place, as we'll demonstrate later in the video. So as you might have guessed from the name, this product obviously draws its inspiration from the 2003 and 2004 Mach 1 Mustang, which featured very popular things like that grille delete, shaker style hood, unique graphics package, and of course a variation of this chin spoiler here, which altogether made them one of the better looking new edge variants in my opinion, along with those Terminator Cobras. Now this chin spoiler I think really added a lot to the front end because the new edge Mustang in general, mainly the V6 and GT cars, tend to have a bit of an underbite from the factory, meaning the front end looks a bit incomplete without something like this installed. Enter the SpeedForm Mach 1 style chin spoiler that we have here. Now, not only will this product add a little extra styling to the front end, it will do so in a very affordable manner. Again, just about 50 bucks for this thing, which, as you guys probably know, is super affordable given the category. Now, as far as your materials are concerned, listen, this is everything you want out of an aftermarket chin spoiler. Durable and pliable impact-resistant plastic, which is given kind of that textured satin finish, which is going to flow very nicely with the other existing plastic or factory plastic on your car. I do want to point out though, guys, if you wanted to take this thing in a completely different direction visually, you can always paint match this to your ride if that's something you're interested in. Couple quick things I do want to point out here prior to getting into the installation. First and foremost, the chin spoiler does ship kind of rolled up to you guys, but it will kind of pop into shape here once you give it an hour or so to kind of sit out. So just do so before getting started with the installation. Now it will also ship to you with all of the necessary hardware, basically nuts and bolts, needed to get everything in place. And because of that, the smallest amount of drilling will be required to get the chin spoiler installed. And to give you a better idea of how it will go down, here's that detailed walkthrough we promised you earlier, along with our quick tool breakdown.
The tools used for this install are a drill, a unibit or 1/4 inch drill bit, an 11mm wrench, a number 3 Phillips bit, and an impact driver. You don't need both the drill and impact driver, but it did make it easier to have both on hand. So the first step of this install is going to be to get up underneath your front bumper and to test fit your chin spoiler on the front. Now there's 2 schools of thought for this. The Mach 1 style is to set it back a 1/4 inch from the front lip of the bumper, but a lot of people on our website like to see it flush mounted with the edge of the bumper, so that's what we're going to do here today. So if you're going to do the 1/4 inch recess like a lot of the Mach 1s do, then you're going to use this slot here pre-cut into the bumper to mount up your front spoiler. But if you want to go flush, move it right out here to the edge, mark and drill your hole, and you'll be good to go. So now that I have my 2 corner bolts marked on the bumper, I'm going to use a unibit and I'm going to go to the 1/4 inch step mark. I'm using an 11mm wrench and a number 3 Phillips head screwdriver to tighten up my screws, and I will use the lip spoiler itself as my drill guide. Now I'm going to repeat this process on the other corner and work my way towards the center. All right, now that I have my 2 corners hard mounted, I can get my spoiler lined up with the edge of my bumper. I got an extra set of hands here. As you can see, I got Mr. Justin Dugan holding up this front spoiler for me. I'll make all my marks, and then I will actually drill my holes through the lip spoiler into the bumper. Now that I've got my curved points marked on the bumper, I can drill my hole, put it up into place, and then use the lip spoiler itself to drill the rest of them. All right, now I can install my hardware. I'm putting a washer on the bolt side, and I'm going to put a washer on the nut side on the inside of the bumper as well. So because some of these screws for the lip spoiler are going to fall into the far corners of the bumper, you might have to reach your hand in from a couple different spots to get to all of them. This one's going to be right behind the fog light, so it's a little tricky to get to. But if you got skinny hands and skinny fingers, you can get to it no problem. Now I'm going to fish my wrench in through the hole and tighten up some of these bolts to get the front lip lined up with the bumper and move on to drilling the rest of my holes. All right, so I've got about 4 bolts on either side of the spoiler, and I left the middle loose for a reason. I'm gonna line this up with the edge, and then I'm gonna drill my hole in the middle to make sure that this flush line goes all the way around on the chin spoiler. It'll just make it a lot easier using the chin spoiler itself to make all of my holes instead of marking and drilling with it off the vehicle. Once you're confident that the lip spoiler is not going to move anywhere, you can go ahead and drill the rest of your holes and throw the rest of your bolts in. And that's going to wrap up this review and install of the SpeedForm Mach 1 style chin spoiler for your 99 to 04 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.